Cyrus Dalton had waited 3 long months for the mail-order bride he'd been promised. The envelope, written in delicate script from a woman named Claire Whitford, spoke of grace, gentleness, and a desire for a quiet life on a ranch. Cyrus wasn't a man who needed much, just someone to talk to at supper and maybe, in time, someone to love. So when the stagecoach rattled into Clearwater Ridge that bright morning, Cyrus stood tall, hat in hand, nerves twisting in his stomach. But the moment the door swung open, his breath caught not from admiration but confusion. The woman who stepped down wasn't Claire Whitford. This woman's clothes were torn at the hem, her hair wind-whipped and loose. She clutched a worn satchel like her life depended on it, and her eyes sharp alert, flicking over every rooftop and shadow, were not the eyes of someone arriving for marriage. They were the eyes of someone running. "You, Cyrus Dalton?" she asked, breath uneven. "I am," he answered slowly. "And you're not Claire?" She swallowed. "Name's Emily Carter, and I need help." Cyrus didn't know how to respond. The townspeople stared. Coach driver shrugged. Emily stepped closer, desperation trembling through her voice. "I know I'm not the woman you ordered, and I'll leave if you want me to," she whispered. "But if I get back on that stage, they'll find me. I just need a place to hide. Just for a little while." Cyrus hesitated. A rancher didn't invite trouble onto his land, but something in her eyes struck him harder than a Mustang's kick. Fear and honesty. "All right," he said finally. "You can come with me. We'll figure things out." Relief washed over her so strongly, her knees nearly buckled. As they rode toward the ranch, Emily kept glancing behind them. Cyrus noticed every time. "What exactly are you running from?" he finally asked. Emily gripped her satchel tighter. "Men who think they own things they don't, including people." Cyrus felt heat rise in his chest, not anger at her, but at whoever had done this. "Well," he said, jaw tightening, "they won't find you here." Emily wasn't meant to be his bride, but something told Cyrus she was meant to be here, one way or another. Cyrus hadn't expected a stranger, let alone a frightened one, to be in his home. But Emily settled into the ranch with surprising quietness. She cooked breakfast the next morning without being asked, her movements careful but practiced, like someone who'd learned to make herself useful to avoid trouble. "You don't owe me this," Cyrus said as she moved around the kitchen. "I know," she replied, eyes lowered. "Just figured I'd do my part." Cyrus nodded, though guilt tugged at him. He didn't want Emily feeling like she had to earn her keep. She needed safety, not another bargain. By midday, Cyrus was out mending fences while Emily swept the porch. The air felt heavy like a storm coming. Cyrus kept scanning the horizon, unable to shake the warning in Emily's earlier words. When he returned to the house, Emily sat at the table, staring at a folded piece of paper. Her hands shook. "What's that?" he asked. She hesitated, then slid it toward him. "It was in my satchel. I found it last night." Cyrus unfolded the paper. A rough sketch of Emily's face and beneath it. "Wanted for questioning. $200 reward." Signed by Landon Pike, a name Cyrus recognized. A crooked cattle baron with a history of bribing sheriffs. Emily's voice cracked. "He's lying. I didn't steal anything. I only saw something. Something I wasn't supposed to. And now he wants to make sure I never speak of it." Cyrus set the paper down slowly. "What did you see?" Emily swallowed hard, eyes fixed on the window. "He killed his foreman, shot him in cold blood. I ran before he noticed me." Cyrus let out a long breath. This wasn't small trouble. This was the kind that came with guns and men who didn't care about laws. "You're safe with me," he said firmly. Emily's eyes lifted to his. "You barely know me." "Don't need to. I know him. And I know he's capable of every word you said." That night, Cyrus checked the locks twice. Emily watched the door like it might burst open. "Do you think they'll come?" she whispered. Cyrus nodded grimly. "If Pike wants you bad enough, they will." But he wasn't letting Emily go. Not to Pike, not to danger, not ever. The days that followed shaped Emily and Cyrus into something neither expected. She helped with chores, laughed at his dry jokes, cooked meals that reminded him of childhood. Cyrus taught her how to ride, how to shoot a rifle, and how to breathe easier on land that stretched wide and free. One evening, as the sun dipped low, Emily sat on the fence, watching the orange glow settle over the fields. Cyrus joined her, brushing dust off his jeans. "You fit in here better than you think," he said quietly. Emily shook her head with a soft smile. "I'm just a problem you took pity on." "You're not a problem," he said. "And pity ain't the reason." She looked at him, then really looked. Cyrus wasn't a man of fancy words or polished manners, but he was steady, gentle, strong, the kind of man who'd stand in front of a bullet if he had to. "Why did you help me?" she finally asked. Cyrus shrugged. Didn't feel right, letting someone walk into danger alone. But that wasn't the whole truth. Not anymore. Emily turned back to the sunset. "I was supposed to disappear somewhere quiet, start over, live unseen. I never thought I'd feel anything again. Not fear, not warmth." Her voice lowered. "Not hope." Cyrus swallowed hard. "You can feel all those things here. With me." Emily's breath caught not from fear this time, but something softer, something terrifying in a different way. Just as she opened her mouth to speak, a distant rumble echoed across the valley, hoofbeats for maybe 5 riders. Cyrus's whole body tensed. Emily turned pale. "Pike's men," she whispered. "Maybe," Cyrus said, though he already knew. He grabbed Emily's hand and pulled her down from the fence. Inside, now, they hurried into the house, shuttering windows. Cyrus loaded a rifle, eyes hard. "Cyrus, I didn't mean to bring this to you," Emily said, voice trembling. "You're not to blame. They are." He positioned himself near the door, finger ready. Emily stood behind him, heart racing. "If anything happens, nothing's gonna happen," Cyrus said firmly. "Not while I'm standing." Emily realized then she wasn't just afraid of Pike's men. She was afraid of losing Cyrus. The knock came just after dark. 3 slow thuds. Cyrus didn't move. Emily held her breath behind him. Then a voice. "Dalton. We're looking for a woman passed through town. Heard she came this way." Cyrus opened the door, just enough to step outside, rifle in hand. "Ain't no one here but me." The tallest outlaw smirked. "Funny. Folks said you picked someone up off the stage. A woman fitting a mighty particular description." Cyrus kept his expression. "Even stage. Brought supplies." "No women." The outlaw leaned closer. "Pike wants her. Said she's stolen from him." "That's so?" Cyrus asked. "Funny how liars travel in packs." The man's eyes narrowed. "You sure you want to get in the middle of this?" Cyrus didn't answer. His silence was enough. Inside the house, Emily watched through a crack in the window. The men began to circle, hands drifting to holsters. Cyrus spoke calmly. "You boys are standing on private land. Turn around, and I forget this ever happened." The shortest outlaw laughed. "Dalton thinks he's a hero." In a flash, one of them drew a gun. Cyrus fired first. Chaos exploded. Emily ducked as bullets shattered a porch post. Cyrus rolled behind a barrel, firing again. One outlaw dropped. The others scrambled for cover. Emily spotted a second rifle against the wall. Fear trembled through her, but so did something else. Courage. She grabbed the gun and crawled to the back door, sliding outside. From the shadows, she aimed at the outlaw sneaking toward Cyrus's blind spot. She fired. The man fell. Cyrus turned at the sound, shock flickering in his eyes. But only for a second. Pride followed. The last 2 outlaws fled into the night, swearing they'd return with Pike himself. Cyrus jogged to Emily, grabbing her shoulders. "Are you hurt?" She shook her head. "I couldn't let them shoot you." His jaw tightened with emotion. "You saved my life." Emily trembled not from cold, but from the realization that she would do anything to protect him. Anything. Cyrus brushed a lock of hair from her face. "We'll have to leave at first light. Pike ain't the type to give up." Emily nodded. "Where do we go?" "Somewhere he can't follow." But they both knew wherever they went, they'd go together. Dawn broke soft and pink as Cyrus saddled the horses. Emily stood beside him, her satchel over her shoulder, the same one she'd clung to the day they met. Only now, she wasn't running alone. "You ready?" he asked. Emily nodded. "As long as I'm with you." They rode through the open range, miles stretching ahead. Cyrus knew a safe place, an old friend's cabin, hidden in the mountain pines. But as they rode, a figure appeared alone on the ridge. Landon Pike. His horse blocked the trail. His smug grin chilled the air. "Miss Carter," he drawled. "You've caused me quite a bit of trouble." Emily stiffened. Cyrus pulled his horse closer to hers. "She ain't going anywhere with you," Cyrus said. Pike raised a brow. "She's mine." Emily's voice cracked, strong yet trembling. "I was never yours." Pike's face darkened. "Stand aside, Dalton." "No." Pike drew his revolver. Cyrus moved instantly, shielding Emily as a shot rang out. Cyrus fired back, forcing Pike to retreat behind a boulder. Smoke curled through the morning air. "Cyrus," Emily whispered, gripping his arm. "We have to end this." Together, they edged along the rocks. Pike fired wildly, yelling threats and curses. Cyrus took aim. Emily placed her hand over his, steadying him. One shot. Clean. Precise. Pike fell. Silence swallowed the ridge. Emily exhaled shakily. "It's over. It's really over." Cyrus lowered the rifle. "You're safe now." She turned to him, tears filling her eyes. "I don't know who I'm supposed to be anymore." Cyrus brushed her cheek. "You can be whoever you want. Stay here, start fresh. With me." Emily's breath caught. "Are you sure?" "I wasn't the bride you ordered." Cyrus smiled softly. "Maybe not the one I ordered, but definitely the one life meant for me." Her heart melted, and right there, with pine trees swaying and morning light wrapping them in gold, Emily kissed him slow, grateful, full of a love born from danger and destiny. Cyrus wrapped his arms around her, holding her like she was the treasure he'd never expected to find. Emily had arrived by mistake, but she stayed by choice, and for Cyrus, she was the only choice that ever mattered. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe for more Western stories.